Okay, so today I want to talk about caffeine in general because a lot of people have commented about it to me. So, every day when we wake up, we feel differently each day, right? And what's happening if you let yourself flow naturally is you will wake up with different levels of awareness. But what the ego does, because it starts to freak out when it becomes more aware of where it is and life and what's going on, is it tries to suppress it. And caffeine is the fastest way to do that. So when you drink coffee, tea, soda, or pre-workout stuff, or even eat something that has sugar, what you're doing is you're taking away your awareness and you're distracting yourself with things that are plugged into this world. We are supposed to learn to become more aware of God's presence in our life in everything that we do. So, for example, today I woke up and everything just felt very real. Like that, just it's a lot. So when I have days like this, I've noticed that I really just need to stay focused and breathe through it. I've been told internally that the only thing that I need to be focused on right now is eating fruit and holding a very high frequency and then letting everything around me shift in accordance. That it is the most important thing that I can do for both myself and the people around me that I care and love. When my ego gets involved, it always wants to go like do something, like if I want to go shop, it gives me a sense of control. um you know just there, like it always is latching on. Like I'm getting Legree certified right now, and it's like half of me wants to do it and half of me is like, what am I doing? So it's like, am I doing that because that's what I'm supposed to be doing, or am I doing it because my ego wants to have some sort of identity to latch onto, because my ego hasn't fully grasped the fact that I'm literally an eternal being in this spiritual realm, and all of these people around me are like trapped, and the only way I can save them is by saving myself and pulling myself out of the trap. And so I'm able to talk about it, because from a thought standpoint it all makes sense to me. But then when it comes to actioning, I'm dealing with my own ego, right? My ego and your central nervous system, as you become more self-aware, and I'm talking like self-awareness of everything that you do throughout the day. Like, why do you just your whole day? Most of the time people just go and they just robotically do, they live their life day by day. They're not thinking through what they're doing. They're not thinking through, why am I doing this? What does this mean? Is this the highest path? What, like, you should be thinking all of that. So I never talk about stuff on these videos that I haven't tested out myself. So what I've learned with caffeine, one, it decreases your frequency. So it immediately lowers your frequency. So if you were in a situation that doesn't feel right to you, you will naturally go drink caffeine, because it allows you to make something feel good that you normally wouldn't want to do, because it creates a fight or flight response inside of your body that gives you a false sense of energy. So you guys should look up caffeine and the effects on the body that Hilton Hotima wrote about, or Dr. Robert Morse. You can just chat GBT it and it'll tell you, like, it'll just pull information for y'all. Caffeine in general is one of the most acidic things you can do for your body. It literally ages your body. So for all of you out there who don't want to look wrinkly and old when you get older and you get Botox and all that stuff, you're technically killing yourself. Another thing, when I was drinking coffee a lot and matcha when I was in corporate, is I started losing hair like up here. So it makes your hair, like, it causes hair loss, it messes with your adrenals, it can cause fertility issues. Coffee has mold in it, so you're basically ingesting mold and can cause all sorts of problems. And it basically it pulls all the reserves out of you. And this is why when you come down from the caffeine, you get really tired. But what happens is people just get hooked on that adrenaline rush every single day, And what you're supposed to do is learn to navigate life completely just neutral. And when you do that, your ego starts to get used to a sense of peace, a sense of neutrality, and then being open that some days you're going to be one way and some days you're going to be in another way. And I think as a society, if we get more comfortable being like, okay, today I feel like this, and then another day I feel like this, versus like constantly feeling like you just need to re-up on your caffeine all the time. Like, a part of me sometimes thinks that I think we're supposed to take naps throughout the day, you know, like it's okay if you get up early and then by like 1 o'clock you're like, I'm tired, like I need to just take like a 30-minute nap. Like that seems normal to me, honestly. So you guys have to remember that this whole like 40 hours a week or this constant nonstop work culture is like made up by us in society. And just like the work ethic out in across the world is made up. It's all made up. And so when you recognize that this is made up, then you have to start to go inside of yourself and ask yourself, well, what is actually true? And as you become more self-aware and you find your central baseline, you'll start to really perceive God's love for you. And it can get really overwhelming because I think the ego is so used to feeling separated from God and feeling nothing and feeling incomplete by this world, that when you really start to grasp that God had never left you and God's always with you, and you start to really feel God's love, the ego gets really overwhelmed. Like I'm overwhelmed today. I'm in my ego because just the awareness of the fact that like it's like laughable, like that I'm even worried about the future, that I'm even worried about anything, because God is always there for me and with me, and God's asked me to do this one thing, and it's like, why can't I just freaking do it? Because my ego just wants constant control. So you're naturally just constantly navigating this surrender, right, to God. You need to surrender to God. We all do. We all need to surrender to God. The ego constantly wants to rebel, and it's teaching the ego why that's not okay. So someone also commented, you know, they get coffee every day, but they don't even drink it. It's because you've created a habit. You've created a ritual. You need to look at it and be like, this is a habit. And then you need to apply a different habit. Maybe you go on a walk instead in the morning, instead of getting coffee. And you have to just get used to the feeling. The more that you let go of any sort of stimulant, okay, the more that you're going to remember yourself, because you can't really know yourself if you're constantly on a stimulant. And another thing is, like I've talked about divine union before. You know, divine union is how you really experience God to the max, because when two souls are above the illusion and fully aligned with God, they mirror each other back, and you can see God in each other's eyes. It's pretty miraculous. But you can never really know yourself if you're always doped up on caffeine and not present. So you're not going to be able to stay centered and appreciate divine love when it's in front of you if you can't even sit with yourself. So this is my whole thought on caffeine. And you don't need caffeine to work. Like, when I feel inclined to go do something, spirit pushes me, and then I'm like, I'm at it, right? And I've learned in life that if I need to dope up on caffeine or even have the thought to go do an activity, it means I don't really want to do the activity, right? So if I'm doing something that I don't really feel like doing, then I have to ask myself, why am I even doing it, right? So I think that's all I really have to say. It's very bad for you. And the reason why you go through detox symptoms is because your body builds a resilience to the acid, to the toxins that you're feeding it. And when you withdraw that, your nerves and everything that were paralyzed by the caffeine start to come on, like everything starts to come out. And that's why you do go through, like, you get some headaches sometimes or go through detox symptoms, but you need to get through that. And then when you let go of all of that stuff, you basically meet yourself for the first time, and you're like, oh wait, like, this is who I am. And then you kind of go through another journey because now you found yourself again.